Hey, what's up everybody? It's Amaya. So today's video is going to be a very different type of one despite the insane amount of makeup that I have on right now. This is actually not going to be a makeup video. I have a gross amount of makeup on right now. Way too much than I needed for this video, but I don't ever think there's such thing as too much makeup really, so I need to be creative and I did so. So we have full-on cut crease and lashes going right now, but anyways, today's video is actually going to be a back to school related video, and this is specifically targeted to those of you that are going into college. Maybe this is your first semester, maybe it's your second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever it is, it really doesn't matter, because today I'm just going to be talking to you guys and telling you how you can get a 4.0 this semester in just a couple easy ways. I know you guys might be thinking like, how can you say that? Like, I actually have been a 4.0 student for several semesters now. I did 2 part-time semesters while I was in high school. I was 4.0 then. And then my last 2 semesters that I did, I was also a 4.0 student. So I have been a 4.0 student for 2 full semesters and 2 part-time semesters. So I have learned a lot along the way. I have learned what really works, what definitely doesn't work. And I've kind of compiled a list of things here that I want to share with you guys to help you reach your goal. Maybe, you know, having a 4.0 is your goal, or maybe just bringing up your grade point average, or just doing well in school in general. This is kind of where I'm heading with this video. It's not to brag or say that I'm doing everything perfect, because I definitely don't. And I'm not saying that all of these tips are things you need to follow to a T in order to achieve this goal. These are just some of the things that I have found work really well for me. Before we get into it though, be sure to check out my Instagram and Twitter. They are right over here. All my other social medias will be in the description box below. Check them out if you wanna. If not, no pressure whatsoever. And yeah, let's just hop right into this video because it's getting long really fast. Okay, so the first tip, find your classrooms before you even start. Find your schedule as soon as you can get your hands on it and go find your classrooms if it's possible. I'm a commuter, so I am able to drive to my school, but if you are someone who lives on campus, it's even easier. You can walk and find your classrooms right where you are. This is super helpful because the first day is so nerve-wracking, and especially if you are in your first semester or even second semester and you're not really sure where everything is yet, especially if you have a huge campus, it's really helpful to find out where you're going to be. I like to put little notes in my phone as well with like hints or clues to where my buildings are. Say one building isn't clearly marked, I say that it's near something else, you know, stuff like that. I actually had an incident on my first day of school in last fall semester where this one building was not marked and I forgot where it was, and I ended up being 10 minutes late to class, and it was so embarrassing on the first day because I walked in and the entire room was full and no one would move to give me a seat. So the professor had to pull up a chair from the front of the class. It was really embarrassing. And if I had just, you know, made sure that I really remembered where this building was, maybe wrote down some clues, really worked on my sense of direction, that would not have happened to me. So make sure that you know where your classrooms are. It'll just make your first day a hell of a lot less stressful and just make everything easier. Okay, tip number 2 is use your online resources. So most colleges have some sort of like online learning area. Where I go, it's something called Blackboard. A lot of information is going to be put in there. Your professors' names, a lot of times their emails, the class roster, assignments, everything like that. Use it, okay? Use this. Log onto there as soon as it's live and take a look around. Figure out what resources are where they are, how you can find your grades, how you can find assignments. If you're taking an online class specifically, make sure you read through everything that the professor has posted. I did an online class last semester and the instructor did a really good job of telling us exactly how he wanted the assignments done, when he wanted them submitted, how he wanted them submitted, how he graded them. And it was so helpful to know that beforehand, because then I was able to kind of go through with a very clear idea of what he wanted, as opposed to having to email him or ask him or just feel confused and stressed. So use those online resources, use those online tools. They're there for a reason. They're there to help you. Take the time to actually get to know them, and it'll really help you. Okay, so number 3 has to do with actually organizing yourself. So I like to use a method called the 2 binder method, and this is something that I actually kind of discovered myself works best for me. I usually take between 4 and 6 classes per semester, so I'm not having every single class every day. I'm usually having Monday, Wednesday classes and then Tuesday, Thursday classes. The way that I like to organize myself is I like to have 2 binders. I actually have my binders right here. I'm gonna show them to you. I have not cleaned them out from spring semester yet. I have to do that soon, but I'm just gonna hold them up here. These are my 2 binders, and I have 1 binder for Monday and Wednesday and then 1 binder for Tuesday and Thursday. And the reason why I do this is because then all I have to remember is 1 binder and my textbooks. That's it. It's really hard when you have to pack your bag and unpack your bag and move things around. It can be very confusing. So I like to just have to remember my textbooks and 1 binder. So let me just show you a little bit inside of here. So I have dividers like this right here, and I have them for each of my classes on that day, and I actually order them in the time frame that the class is going. So this is my first class, this is my history class, and then next was a photography class. And what I will do is I will take these dividers and I will go to, you know, Staples, CVS, wherever they sell loose leaf lined paper, and I will put that in my binder. So this is like having a notebook. You could also take a spiral notebook. Some of them have holes punched and you could put that directly in here. I like using loose leaf paper because then I can reorganize my notes, put them in different order. Maybe I have to take out a page and I don't want to rip it out. I can just take it out. I can take them out to study and put them back in. It's just really easy to stay organized as opposed to having to rip out papers and then keep track of them because you can't put them back anywhere. So it's really, really easy, and this is probably like the best tip that I can have to stay organized because then everything is right there. So this is another tip pertaining to the binder. So you may have noticed on here that I have this little thing cut and pasted here. This is the online description of my class. So I found this when I looked up all my classes on the online resource that I was telling you about before. And this tells me that what the schedule type is. It was a lecture, the instructional method, where it was, how many credits it was, the grade mode, etc., who the instructor was, all that sorts of good stuff. Having this handy helps because you see it every day when you open this up and you can remember what number your classes are. It also helps you remember the professor's name and any other info you need about your class. So I like to do that as well to kind of label everything like that. So another good tip for your binder. Okay, so one of the biggest things when it actually comes to attending school is to sit relatively close to the front of the class. You don't have to be a front row person. I know I'm not. I don't like sitting directly in the front row. I usually sit in the 2nd or 3rd row, but don't sit all the way in the back. I actually had someone tell me they like sitting in the front because then they can't tell if there's anybody else in the class because they can't see behind them. Some people don't like that feeling, but if you can stand it, sit relatively close to the front. It just shows the professor that you're interested and that you want to learn. They also get to know your face, which helps them when grading. I actually had a professor tell me that, you know, they don't grade, obviously, biased, but if they see that you're between grades or maybe something doesn't look quite right on your test and they see your name and they can put a face to it, they're a lot more likely to either A, offer help, or B, give you a higher grade because they know that you're trying, they know that you're listening, they know who you are. They can put a face to the name. You're not just some anonymous name that's in their class. And I know a lot of times people can have huge lecture classes, and this might not necessarily be something that is as beneficial to you, but for those of you that have smaller size classes and you actually get to have a more intimate connection with the professor, this method really helps them get to know you and just helps with your overall experience. Next one kind of leads into the last one, which is get to know your professor if it's possible. Like I said, some people have ginormous classes, right? You know, 100, 200 people. I had classes, luckily, that were no more than I think 50 people. So it was relatively easy to get to know your professor. And it just, like I said, it helps because they can put a face and a personality to the name. Also, if you get to know them, it'll be easier to ask for help. Make your life easier, honestly. I have gotten to know all of my professors relatively well. I at least made a good impression on them. I hope some of them I've gotten very close with, and it's nice having a familiar face or a familiar resource around to help you out around campus. Of course, there are some professors that are just insufferable and they're just going to be who they want to be and they don't want to get close to you, and that's fine. But if this is possible, definitely get to know your professor because they're there to help you and you're with them for like several months, several times a week. So you might as well get to know them, right? Okay, in class, stay off your phone. This is something that I cannot stress enough. Like I said, was close with a couple of my professors, and they would always complain about people being on their phones. I had one professor that would completely ban phones, and she said if you had your phone in class, she would make you leave the classroom and then come back. And some people argue with this one and say that they should be able to use their phone if they want. You're an adult, blah blah blah, you're paying to take the class. I get it. Maybe it's not necessarily fair, but let me tell you, I stay off my phone during every single class, and there's definitely a difference. There's been a couple times when I've taken out my phone to do a quick text or something like that, and I immediately feel like discombobulated, like I don't know what's going on. I missed a couple notes, and I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. Right? It helps. So make sure that you turn off your phone, put it in your bag, put it on silent, whatever you got to do. Stay off your phone during class. It also helps the professor know that you're very attentive, and it just makes you look better. You're paying attention to them, and they really like that. They don't necessarily want to be there any more than you do. So don't be distracted, pay attention, and stay off your phone. And this one kind of goes along with the last one as well. Be an active listener. So don't just be sitting there staring, take notes. Act like you're listening. I like to look my professors, as close to in the eye as I can, like they're actually just talking one-on-one with me. When they're saying something, I nod my head just so they know that I'm listening and not just blankly staring. I've actually gotten a couple of professors tell me, they're like, I feel like I'm just talking to you, and I feel like you're actually listening to me. And it really helps. And it helps them feel like they're doing a good job. And it also helps you really take in the information as opposed to just zoning out. Because I've had lectures that were 3 hours long, and let me tell you, 3-hour-long lectures suck, okay? They are not fun. But it helps if you're able to actively listen. Answer questions if you feel comfortable. Not everybody does, but if you can, at least give it a shot once or twice, right? Like, who cares if you're wrong? You're there to learn. You're not supposed to know everything. If you already knew everything, you wouldn't be in the class. So, be an active listener, and it's going to help you a lot. As often as you can, get to class early, at least on time, but try your hardest not to get there late. I know early classes are annoying, but try to get to class at least 5-10 minutes early. Sometimes I'll get to my classes a half hour early, 15 minutes. Some people have back-to-back classes. I've had that happen before too. And it's just not possible to get there as early as you might want. But trust me, when the professor walks in and sees, those few people sitting there when everybody else isn't, it really helps them, A, remember your face, B, know that you're there and you're serious and you want to learn and you want to listen, and C, it just helps them get to know you, Attendance and being there, punctually is really important. I've had lots of professors tell me that they really enjoy it when people are on time and when they attend. So some professors even give points, like attendance points. I've had a couple do that before. And so that can really help you out, an extra 5 points or so for attending every class. And people get sick, stuff happens, but really try your hardest not to be late and not to miss any lectures if possible. And if you do, notify your professor so they know you're not just, skipping and that you don't care. Okay, this next one is so important, and it's probably the downfall of most people in my life that I know have struggled in school, and it's that you're not reading your textbooks. I know, it sucks. They're textbooks. They're made to be boring. They're supposed to be boring. There is valuable information in there. This is assigned for a reason. They're not made to assign textbooks. They don't have to. Usually if they assign it, it's for a reason. So I've had a couple of classes where I didn't end up using the textbooks, but at least for the first 2 to 3 weeks, I made sure to read them before every class until I was certain that I didn't need them. But always keep them because they're very helpful for studying for tests and stuff like that. Okay, so the number one thing when you're struggling, ask for help. You guys, I cannot stress this enough. Ask your professors for help. Email them. Go to their office hours. Talk to them after class. Talk to them before class. Whenever you can, communicate with your professor on how you feel like you're doing. If you're concerned about your grade, if you're concerned about how you did on a test, if you're just concerned about an assignment or how the class is going in general, let them know. They can't help you if they don't know. They're there to teach you. You're paying them to teach you. So make sure that you're communicating with them and letting them know that, hey, this is working. Hey, this isn't working. I need some help. Ask questions. If you don't feel comfortable doing it in person, do it over email. Let them know. Tell them. Give their feedback. It's really important. Okay, so this part goes along with the asking for help section, and it's find your resource centers. I mean, all colleges have them. They have tutoring centers, they have mental health areas like therapists, stuff like that. There's so many resource centers. There's different things, you know, monetary things and learning things like tutoring. I am actually an English tutor. I work in the Center for Reading and Writing at my school. So I'm there to help you with your papers and with, you know, reading, anything English related. I'm there to help. Even if it's like a chemistry paper, I can help you with that. I might not be able to tell you what it's about, but I can help you with your grammar, you know, different things like that. So find those centers. They're set up for a reason. They're there to help you. They're not going to turn you away. They're not going to tell you you're stupid. They're there for a reason. And as long as you are willing to help yourself, they will be more than willing to help you. Okay, so staying organized with assignments is really, really hard, and that's why I recommend getting a wall calendar / planner. I will insert a picture of the one that I have on my wall, and I keep this right in front of my bed so I see it every morning when I wake up and every night as I go to sleep, and basically anytime that I'm in my bed, and I write down what assignments are due when. In the beginning of the semester, I will write down what classes are when, just so I can get it in my head and get it in my memory, and it helps so much because a lot of times you'll have assignments due on different days, different times, you know, multiple assignments due on one day, and it can get confusing on how to prioritize that. Write it out, visualize it. Also, writing it down helps your memory. It like reinforces it with another memory, so it helps you remember different things. So definitely write things down and put it on your wall. That's what I find works best. So whenever is possible, get your work done ASAP. A lot of times I will come home from school and just get straight to it. I will get at least an hour's worth of homework just done and out of the way. I know it's really hard. You've had a long day at school, you're tired, but just getting a little bit of a head start on it helps. Yeah, I procrastinate on a couple things as well, and it's stressful, you guys. I definitely have spent many late nights studying or cramming when I really just, you know, could have taken an extra 30 minutes out of my week to get this done. And I think this is really, really important, is just get your stuff done as soon as possible. That being said, however, make sure that you carve out time for yourself. You don't want to get burned out. I've had several times when I literally just like broke down crying because I was so burned out. And you have to remember that you need time for yourself. This past semester was really hard for me. I wasn't able to do YouTube as much, and I wasn't able to really do anything that mattered to me. But try to find at least half an hour every single day to do something you love. If it's makeup, cooking, baking, running, I don't know, anything you like to do, video games, like, do it. Even if it's just watching Netflix or YouTube, you know, watch an episode, watch 2 episodes. Find some time for you. It's going to help with your mental state, and it's going to help you focus and concentrate and not feel so burnt out and disgusting. Okay, last couple of things to help you stay organized. Make sure that you keep an organized bag as much as possible. Try not to throw loose papers and things in your bag. In my binder, I have little envelope folders in my dividers, and that helps me, you know, throw, you know, loose tests in there, other little papers, notices, anything I need. Don't stuff them in your bag. Don't throw pencils in your bag. Have a pencil case. Anything that you need, like, make sure that it has its own spot in your bag. Get a bag with lots of little pockets, or get little baggies and put them in your bag. Having an organized bag will just help you feel a lot less stressed, and when you know you need a number 2 pencil, you can find it. Okay, and I have 2 more things. This one seems kind of random, but it's keep your stuff in your car. If you have a car and you have to commute, this one is kind of directly aimed at commuters. Keep your stuff in your car. It's so much easier. Keep your binders, keep your bag, keep everything in there. There's little like car organizers that you can get. I actually have one. You can keep all your textbooks in. You can keep everything in there. Keep snacks in your car. Keep extra clothes in your car. You know, tampons, tissues, medicine, anything you might need. I have that all packed in my car. So if I need it, I can get it. I don't have to leave campus. I don't have to go anywhere. It's all right there. And last but not least, find your note-taking style. Figure out what works best for you. Some people really like handwriting notes. That's me. Some people like typing them. I'm okay on that. Some people like doing fancy styles of things, doodling, different stuff like that. Find your style. Try out a bunch until you find what you like, because your notes are how you're going to learn. If you don't have strong notes, you only have so much memory. You're not going to remember every little detail. So make sure that you take notes in the first place. I've seen people that don't take notes, and it just stresses me out looking at them. Maybe they got it under control, but a lot of times I know that they regret it afterwards and end up having to ask people for notes, which is kind of annoying, having someone ask you for your notes and you're like, why don't you just take your own notes? I personally like handwriting them. I feel like it reinforces it. They say that there is a connection between writing things down and your memory. It helps. I don't know, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but yeah. I like handwriting mine. Some people like using a computer though. They feel like they can go faster. Whatever works for you. Try out a bunch of different things until you find what you like. So that is it, you guys. Those are all of my tips for getting a 4.0 this semester. I really hope that you guys maybe learned something. Maybe you didn't, but hopefully you did. And yeah, these are all things that I do every single semester and that have honestly helped me so much. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Maybe some of your tips and tricks. I'd love to hear them. And yeah, I hope you have an amazing semester. You have a great time and best of luck to you. Mwah. Bye. It's delicious.